Bo, you had an interesting question before we jumped on, and that was about Eli Ricks, man. If you would, what are your thoughts about that? And any hesitation as far as him going, or are you in favor of it?
I mean, I asked Marv what he think about it. I mean, I don't know much about the guy, what he did in his previous years, but from what I heard that he only had one good year out of the 3-4 years that he played, and for me, if I was in that situation, I would have came back. I don't know his situation or what people are telling him or what may be going on, in the background or whatever. But from the stats and, just looking at the game on the outside, looking in, he should have came back, as my perspective of what I think.
Marvin, you look like you got something to say about it. Please, by all means, take the floor, sir.
I'll say this, from the time when I played at Alabama, from the time before I played, even after I left, there's always been guys that we've seen that came out declared for the draft that could have used an additional year. Because here's the reality of it, and Bo knows this. When you don't get that high draft selection and you're a free agent or a late round draft pick, you're just trying to make the team. Also, there's a difference in how your contract is structured and the money you'll make. There's so many different variables that come into play that are related to where you're drafted at. That if you can come back to school and increase your draft status to give yourself that much more job security down the line, it is to your benefit. I think he should have came back. Prime example, we'll look at Slade Bolden last year. We had Slade on. And one of the things that I said was, this kid could use another year. All right, because again, had he came back this year, he would have hands down been the number one receiver because out of the bunch that we have, he clearly would have been the standout. He comes back, he's the number one receiver. Who knows what draft position he could have put himself in. Clearly, he wouldn't have been on the practice squad this year, putting himself in that position. So when you think about how that played out for him and the fact that he ended up on the practice squad, when he could have came back and played another year to increase his stock, his value, because again, you're more likely to make the roster when you're a second or third round draft pick than you are as a late round draft pick or a free agent. That's just the reality of business. So the same thing for Ricks, he has a chance to put more on film because again, they always say the eye in the sky doesn't lie. When you get film on guys, that's quality film. Like my coach always used to say, you're putting money in your bank. How much money has Eli really put in his bank the past 2 years? Not much. So how do you expect someone to come out and give you this whole pile of money when you don't have the film or the body of work to support them giving you that amount of money?
Agreed. And that's one of my points as soon as I heard the news earlier was we haven't really seen significant film since his freshman year at LSU. And when he transferred to Alabama, we didn't see him on the field significantly until the Mississippi State game. He played one full game healthy, then got a little bit banged up after that, and we didn't really see him again until the Sugar Bowl. So you don't have film to watch. You don't have a healthy version to look at. But the other thing I'm looking at, if I'm a GM or a coach, Eli, why didn't you play until the Mississippi State game? What was going on there? Is there something we need to dig into? Do we need to talk to coaches, players? That to me is a huge red flag that would go against him. I understand he's one of the most talented guys out there. Absolutely. But when you start questioning things like that, it could hurt him, like you said, Marvin. So another year of a full season with tape helps him out tremendously.